Hi, I'm Jeff Cohn, CEO of Omaha's Elite Real Estate Group and ERS and the Team Building Podcast. And we are so excited today. We have two guests, two for the price of one. Super excited. We just talked off recording for about the last 30 minutes. And these two ladies have a ton of value to offer to us. We're going to be diving deep into team evaluations, how to sell a team, how to coach, how to retain agents, and how to offer a concierge service so that we can retain and receive referrals from our current client base. I'd like to welcome Marissa and Allison to the podcast today. How are you ladies doing today?
Hey, Jeff. Thanks for having us on.
Good.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Doing awesome. Super excited about this one. So let's start off the first maybe 2 minutes. Each of you can take an opportunity to introduce yourselves, talk about where you came from. I know, Marissa, you have a lot of background prior to getting into real estate. Maybe walk everybody through where you were and where you are now.
Yeah, sure. So currently we're in Charlotte, North Carolina. I've been here for 11 years. I was in Santa Barbara before I got here. I was a hedge fund analyst. During the recession, came to Charlotte to buy foreclosed REO short sale properties. The fund I was working with ended up acquiring 2,000 homes, 5 different cities, sold that to a publicly traded real estate investment trust, flipped 50 homes, founded Lodestone, which sold to Allison. So she'll talk to you a little bit about how
That's
that happened.
the real estate team?
That's the real estate team,
Okay.
Lodestone. Yep. And about 50 million in volume, 150 sides.
That's last year's numbers?
That's last year's numbers, yep.
Okay. Cool.
And have a title company, and then a coaching program at marissaboyle.com, as well as a portal, this is the coolest and exciting one for agents to acquire cash offers from hedge fund buyers on their pre-listing properties called iagent.com. iAgent offer.
So say that all over again because people are going to rewind and listen to that sentence again. A little bit of a foreign language. So say that again.
So because of my hedge fund background, we created a portal that agents, it's called iagentoffer.com, where agents can go in, put their pre-listing properties in, and if it fits the criteria, we get them a cash offer from a hedge fund.
Awesome. So it's like iBuyer through your hedge fund.
But we say we love realtors because we are realtors that founded it, so we want to.
Does the agent that brings the deal get to keep any equity?
No, because they're representing the seller.
Though.
But yeah, we
That'd
can
be cool.
That out.
All right.
You're always with the ideas.
There you go.
You already gave me like 600 ideas in the first 30 minutes of talk.
We do what we can.
Be busy. Yeah.
All right. So Marissa, you had a team. You obviously sold it to Allison. We were talking about our DISC assessments, and Allison admitted she is a DS. Is that right, Allison? Or an SC?
Yeah. No, DS. You had
DS.
right.
That's right. DS. And then Marissa is an DI, and I had her pegged for that. That's what I am. So awesome. So Allison, where are we at now? Where'd you come from? Why'd you buy a real estate team?
So Marissa's very persuasive, so that's part of it. So I came into this. I grew up in real estate. I flipped homes with my family, and really enjoyed that side of it. I was working with high net worth individuals in Greenwich, Connecticut. And when my husband and I relocated to Charlotte, decided I really wanted to pursue real estate full time. I was fortunate enough to connect with Marissa and joined Lodestone as an agent originally. And the two of us just built and grew this business together, doing a lot of relocation work for some of the corporations here in Charlotte. It's a really big, fast-growing city. Relocation is our number one source of revenue here. And so we took that, ran with it. And this past year, Marissa gave me the opportunity to purchase a team from her and really just continue to grow and expand on that and free her up to do some of these incredible projects that she's doing. She's obviously very busy. So it was a huge honor for me. And I was fortunate enough to be trained under her myself and continue to get that training. You know, we literally sit right next door to each other. So it's great access.
How many agents do you guys have?
Agents, we have 5 of us right now on the team.
Okay.
There's 8 people, well, actually 9 total. And a big part of that is our support staff. So one of our biggest things is just providing leverage for the agents, making sure they're doing it the right way. Customer experience is number one. So we want happy clients. Most of our business is from referrals and then that relocation with the companies. So we have a whole training program they go through. And we have a concierge. She is full-time. That's all she does.
Concierge service is a game changer.
Yeah.
Having the human actually.
Let's talk about it. So this is not just a transaction coordinator who helps take the contract from contract to close.
We have that as well.
So let's talk about concierge. This gets thrown around all the time. It's like the word culture. Right? So what specifically does this concierge service provide to your clients? What are 2 or 3 like the coolest?
If it was a man, it's a woman. But if it was a man, I think they'd have to have tails on.
Uh-oh.
a silver
All
play.
right, don't you agree? Be awesome. So like you go to a hotel and they offer concierge service. That means they'll like bring your dry cleaning, they'll bring you meals, they'll go grab you a Rockstar in the morning. So what are you guys doing? What's the concierge level service?
Well, we haven't started bringing rock stars into our clients yet. We could probably negotiate and work on that. But we do the dry cleaning. We do the meals.
For your clients?
Yeah, we take good care of our clients. So when you sign up with us and one of our agents to work on purchasing or selling a home, you get concierge service on both sides. So even if you're local, we still provide this for you. It's a big deal to us. They will help you with your move, coordinating that stuff. If you're moving new to the area, you need DMV for car registration, new licenses, we take care of that. You've got children, we handle school registrations.
What?
Yep.
Come on. That's awesome. This is the first I've ever heard of a team doing this. So how do you decide do you have like a printout of what's offered so that your concierge calls this client and says, hey, thank you so much. I want to introduce you to our concierge service. Here are all the services we provide.
Even better. She takes them to coffee or lunch when they first come into town and we're first meeting to work with us.
With them in person.
And goes over the whole checklist. It's pretty badass.
Yeah. We're all about the person to person.
That's
in this
cool.
day and age, everybody is quick to jump on texting, email. We'll do that if that's convenient for you, but we would much rather prefer to meet you in person, meet the whole family if we can. Fur babies included, as Marissa said. We take care of everyone.
This reminds me, and Marissa, maybe this idea came from your family offices. I know in the financial planning world, there's family offices and they have the concierge services that they provide. So would you guys be willing to share the list of the services that you offer just so our listeners could maybe take a peek at the list and get some ideas, or is that?
No, we can definitely do that.
Send you a PDF or something.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. We'll figure out how we make that available for you guys in the audience, but make sure to go to YouTube and check the show notes and we'll have some type of a redirect link so you guys can take a peek at that. This is awesome. So what typically would you pay for a concierge? Like what is the good?
That's the best thing. We provide that complimentary to all of our clients.
No, yeah. So what do you have to pay to have that person?
Well, that I can't share.
Not your person, but what would you, everyone listening is going, well, that sounds wonderful, but
I would say if you want to do it like on a deal by deal basis, like kind of some of the transaction coordinators are, I would say like $475, somewhere in there.
Just pay per deal or something. Because there's going to be people that are like, yeah, that's really neat, but I don't want any of that. And then there's going to be other people that probably try to take advantage of it. So do you limit, when you show them all the services, do you limit how many times they can use it or what all they can?
No, because it's real estate's such like a face-to-face profession, right? And it's all about repeat and referral. And the quicker you can get repeat and referral, the better your conversions are. Typically, the higher your price point will go. So it's worth it all the way.
Cool. Concierge services, I would say out of all the podcasts we've recorded, people have used the word. I've never heard it really being done the right way. I think you guys are doing it the right way. So I would like to, we'll talk more about that after the show. That's really neat. All right, so Marissa, let's go back to the coaching. Any successful organization should have a coaching component. I don't know for you, but I do know for me, our coaching came from my coaching I was offering my own team. And then agents nationally were like, hey, how do I tap into this? And ERS was born. Did you have a similar experience?
Yes, exactly a similar experience. So I've always been really lucky to have great mentors along the way. Lodestone has been around for about 8 years. So that kind of was coaching and training those agents. I had really good success of getting 7 agents kind of out of the gate from no sales experience to over 100,000 in 18 months, in GCI. So I was like, oh, turns out I'm good at this.
Right.
Both of my parents are elementary school teachers. So I'm like, I would never be a teacher. Turns out.
Marissa said something to me before we started. This surprised me, but she said she likes teaching new agents.
And I do. I love it. I don't even like it. I love it.
My podcast is team building podcast. Like if you're an individual agent, you don't aspire to have a team.
Go away.
I'm really interested in you. So one of the things I think already that stands out, Marissa, is that you do have a lot of attention towards that. We do train on that with Elite Real Estate Systems. We obviously have this ongoing subscription style training for $97 a month that gives you 8 hours of content. But if anyone listening doesn't want that ongoing and they just want a course, I actually negotiated a deal with Marissa to get you $100 off if in checking out for this product, you just put in the name Jeff, Jeff. So talk to the audience a little bit about what that course is all about.
Yeah, so it's just that training up the new agents. I really like teaching kind of people how to create financial freedom through real estate. So I've formalized it about 3 years ago. So it's a program called Realtor Cultivation. So it's 5 hours of video content, 19 modules. Typically it's $597 if you don't have the Jeff discount code. What we do there is the agents have access to it for however long they want. So they can just keep going back and just instead of bugging the team lead, because that's kind of what I've got a lot of my friends you can imagine our.
How do you do a CMA? How do you fill out a purchase agreement?
Oh,
right.
I don't. It's like, well, how do I follow up with a lead? And you're like wanting to.
Oh my gosh, yeah. So if someone's interested,
I'd rather chew on glass, or is that what I hear people saying? So I'm like, okay, we can handle this for you.
Yep. So if you don't want to do the ongoing, obviously subscription service through Elite Real Estate Systems, this is a great option for you. Just kind of a one-off 5 hours of training. If you're a team lead, you can direct your people to the content. So $100 off makes it what, $497? Seems like a good deal. How does somebody sign up for that?
So they go to marissaboyle.com, Marissa Boyle. I guess you're going to put this in the notes.
You're all right, though.
Click on coaching.
All right, cool. Just make sure on checkout you put in Jeff, Jeff, get the $100 off. All right, so coaching, obviously any organization that takes off has a coaching element. I really want our audience members to pay attention to that.
That's what I did for Lodestone too. That's, that's a lot of how I'm still involved is with the B2B contacts and then coaching the new agents.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, I love it. And that's one of the value adds for the agents on my team. I've got about 30. They obviously get access to our coaching because it started there. It's literally being broadcast from my physical office. And so all of my agents get it for free. I think they somewhat take it for granted because it's all there for them all the time and they don't even show up sometimes. And one of the things that makes our ongoing subscription service pretty cool is you can attend our trainings live. You can interact live with our trainer and or watch the recording. So for anyone that doesn't know a lot about Elite Real Estate Systems, you can go out to eliterealestatesystems.com to learn a little bit more about our group training product. All right, we've talked to Concierge. We've talked about coaching. Let's end with talking about how to sell a real estate team. Marissa, you have successfully sold your team to Allison, or you're in the process of going.
Already done.
Okay.
Done.
So let's first start off with the why. So I know like a lot of people are trying to follow MREA, where you make $1 million a year and work less than 5 hours in your business. I don't know a lot of people successfully doing it. I have done it several years. I'm not doing it right now. It's very challenging to pull $1 million out of a real estate team, right? But for anyone that was, like, let's say you got to $500,000 a year and you're doing that year after year, why would you sell it, especially if you have it on autopilot? And you seem like the type that probably had a lot of it on autopilot.
Yeah, I mean, you automate as much of it as you can, but I'm a very, like I said, the kind of high touch, face to face.
Hands-on.
Hands-on, yeah. And we both own a title company, right? So there's that. You've got the apartment investments, you got agent offer, you got coaching, you got Lodestone. Something's got to give because you can't be all things to all people. So I kind of looked. I was like, okay, who are my partners in these businesses, and like that whole time headache dollar ratio thing. And it was time to pass the torch, right? Cool. I'd been at it for 10 years and those kind of good bookends. And Allison, I believe, does it better than I do it, because we said she's got a little bit different personality, maybe a little more steady. And I'm like, right now.
Right. Did you retain any ownership or did you 100% sell the real estate team off?
Well, 100% to Allison.
Okay. So is there obviously an expectation that Allison's real estate team will continue to use your other ancillary services?
Of course. That had to be part of the deal.
Yeah.
Because, it's funny, like the title will almost like nets you the same. I mean, a lot of people don't realize how much money there is in that title insurance and escrow closing fee. When we would look at what our average net was per real estate transaction, title was almost equal to that. So obviously keeping that piece of the business, that's one thing that was in it for you. Coaching, I'm assuming you're continually coaching that team.
Well, and that's part of it, right? So like coaching for the Lodestone agents is obviously free of cost.
Yep. And you're still in the same office. You recognize that you could make more money doing other things, and maybe your passion was kind of moving on to some of these bigger projects.
I think that's what it was, right? The passion for running the sales team had waned.
Yep. I think there's a lot of people, I know there are, that are listening to this that have teams that are asking themselves, what's the next thing? Like, is this the rest of my life? And obviously individual agents ask themselves, is this the rest of my life or do I want to start a team? But there's like this evolution. And you said 10 years, and I think that's it. In 10 years, you're like, okay, now what's next? I think for a lot of people, it's investing. So I want to invite everyone. We're actually offering our first ever investment workshop. I think by the time this episode airs, it's probably going to be the week of that event, but it's on September 24th. So if you missed that date, we have another one in October. So if you go out to eliterealestatesystems.com, click on events, you'll see all of our upcoming. But our investor workshop, or ERSinvestorworkshop.com, we're doing a deep dive. It's a full day event on how to invest in real estate. So you both have a lot of experience in flipping, wholesaling, I'm assuming buying and holding. Mm-hmm. The wealth creation is in the buy and hold. So what do you see, right? So what do you see?
I stopped flipping. I had a $2 million fund raised at one point to flip properties, and I just stopped because it's like you're paying ordinary income taxes. You're constantly in an acquisition cycle. It's bananas. So I will only buy and hold cash flowing real estate now.
Yep. Yep. We have 6 options. And I've talked about this on other podcasts, but when you go look at a deal, we're like, okay, do we list it traditional? Do we wholesale it where you sell it without closing? Do you wholesale it where you close and don't fix it up? Do you flip it where you fix it up and sell it? Do you hold it? And so there's 6 options essentially. So there is a need, I think, for wholesaling and wholesaling and flipping.
And I had breakfast this morning with one of my good collaborators in the city, and he was like, I tell my agents, because he has a big team, and he goes, they should, when they're going to a listing appointment, the first question is, should I buy this for myself, for my investment portfolio? And making sure that residential agents are buying one investment property every year on the quick end and at least every 3 years to kind of solidify. Because it's like, I always think those agents that have been in the business for 30 years, I'm like, oh my God, no.
Yep. So our goal, we buy 100 houses a year in Omaha. We keep half as rentals. The other half we flip to help funnel the marketing and everything, all the overhead costs. And I've empowered my agents. We do 700 deals a year. Everyone can do the iBuyer option. And we talked about this before the show started, where you guys have an opportunity for that too. And maybe you want to talk about that today with our audience members. But essentially, I say to my agents, every time you go on a list price, figure out the market value, make an offer 30% below market at the listing presentation. Make an offer 30% below market. And then, of course, we'll come in after, do our due diligence. But if we can pick something up 30% below market in our marketplace, that's like a no-brainer, slam dunk deal.
And then it's stable. We teach that too. It stabilizes a real estate agent's business because there's always 3 buckets, right? Buyers, sellers, or investors. And the market is always good for one of those 3. Yep. So it's like the more you know how to work with all 3, it doesn't matter what. I will say, I'm like, I don't subscribe to market fluctuations because I just don't.
There's always something. And I think it's crazy. I can't believe how many agents aren't investing. They're not flipping. They're not wholesaling. They're not holding. They're helping other people do it. They're helping other people get rich.
Yeah.
And you're making a little commission and then paying tax on that commission.
Well, and then you think too, it's like people look at real estate sales as the get rich quick scheme, and then real estate investing is the get rich slow scheme. And it's like, which one do people gravitate more towards? It's
of course.
fast, but it's always the slow and steady wins the race.
What I think happens, we talked about that 10-year mark, right? And I think at the 10-year, we're like, oh my gosh, I'm making more money than I've ever made, but where did it go? I made $400,000 last year and I live in a nice house and have a nice car, but I have $100,000 in the savings account and I should have $1 million. What did I do with my money?
Yep.
You spent it and you paid taxes. So
Let me help you with that.
Taxes.
I know what you did because you did what I did until 18 months ago. And I was like, all right, it's time to build wealth. What am I going to do?
Well, and that's really just changing the conversation with the people you're around. Because now it's like, if people don't want to talk about saving, investing, and growing money, it's like, I don't, have space for business conversations.
What else is there to talk about? And I totally agree. Like, I'll go to events and people want to ask about the team. And I love teams. This is a team building podcast and I'll talk to teams on any time, but I'm excited about building wealth, and you can build wealth with teams. I have a plan to expand into lots of teams. Obviously, Allison didn't buy the team to lose money, and there is money there, but I do think we need to think about what are the other ancillary businesses that we can generate
all
wealth.
The verticals.
Right. All the verticals. There's so many.
Yeah.
So we have already both identified, Marissa, sorry. We both have insurance. I really think you mentioned insurance. We both have title. We both have coaching, which you coach your own team. We both have investing. What are some other verticals we're forgetting about? A concierge company?
You know what?
I'm working on it.
Allison was talked about that. So the person we have is internal, right? Because we kind of looked at outside companies and to get that tailor service, face-to-face, good interaction. Right. It's like,
but think about this. You could franchise that idea. You could put your first one in Omaha. Have your current concierge come to Omaha, train my concierge, and then a little percentage off of that. Like, there's an opportunity there. I know an agent, Spring Benson, I'm good friends with in Salt Lake City. She has transaction coordinators that she does. I don't know if it's virtual, but she has this really awesome process for transaction coordination. And then she's going to make that available to teams in other places. So, like, once you've perfected something, it is scalable and you can put it in other markets without owning the teams.
Yeah. I will say too, I wanted to kind of say this, when you're selling your team, you want that personality match and almost like a visual match, because for Allison and I, the client handoff, we were a little kind of, okay, how's this going to go? Are they going to adopt Allison? It's gone better than either one of us had expected. Good. And I was laughing as I was looking at us in the video before we were getting ready. I was like, oh good, we even both have pearly earrings on today.
You two look like you could be sisters.
But honestly, it was, I don't know if it wasn't consciously intentional. It was subconsciously, but it's really, so if the person that you want to sell your team kind of looks like you, that's like,
looks and talks. You know, it's funny you mentioned this. For anyone that knows Andy Cuney, good dear friend of mine. He also owns, he's a part owner in our coaching company. He's my direct report with Omaha's Elite. So he runs the day-to-day. He's their success manager, essentially. And he would be the person I would choose to sell to if I were to sell. And one of the things, and I noticed that right when you said, Alison had worked in your world. You knew her. More importantly, she knew you and understood the business. So it wasn't a hard purchase for you, Alison. Like, people would be like, oh, that's high risk. No, it's not. You already saw the business. You know how it operates. You already have the trust of the agents. I think it's hard for brokerages and teams to sell because whoever comes in, you have no guarantee. Your independent contractors don't have to stay with you. So what are you really buying? But you knew they were going to stay because you had relationships with them already.
The other thing that was important too was making sure that it wasn't just, okay, here's the team and bye.
Yeah,
This is a very close partnership.
Yeah.
And whether it's with Marissa continuing the coaching and offering those services to the Lodestone agents so that they get that additional one-on-one, and that frees me up to be able to build that relocation piece of it more.
Sure.
And it's also, the two of us are very similar minded. We love growth. We love learning. Neither of us are stagnant creatures by nature. And so, I put it this way. Marissa is kind of the visionary of the two of us. I'm the integrator. So
I see that.
She comes up with these like crazy ideas. Sometimes I look at her and I'm like,
Go away.
no. We're going to revisit this.
Right.
Other times I'm like, this is brilliant. So the concierge thing, we developed that together and we're like, all right, how do we go do this? So Marissa found the person and then we went through and it was like, all right, let's train them. Let's build this. Let's make something of this. And it's truly transformed the business.
Yeah. I think the staying involved, right? Because that was like, for us, it's, 3 years kind of staying involved, coaching, training. Like yesterday we do our business to business drops and we brought one of them, like, it's kind of, we call it like the frat house call center when we go to, but we brought him this like giant pizza that was literally like 5.5. It just stopped in. We know we're there for like 10, 15 minutes. They made everybody make a scene and go, but just kind of both of them seeing us together, FaceTime.
That's awesome. Well, I look at the office of the future, and if we're going to continue to compete against all of these different companies that are innovating the way that they sell real estate, the way that their commission splits work, we have to offer more. And everyone always talks about it, but nobody is really about it. They're not doing it. They're saying they're doing it, but then they're still putting a sign in the yard and taking 13 HDR pictures, and that's it. So if you want to keep making money over the next 10 years, you have to offer something like this concierge.
I feel like the choices are you can go low and price compete, or you go high and do concierge level service. And I've always
I also see there will be a salary option. Like most agents, the commissions are going to go away.
Talking about that yesterday.
You're going to make $24,000 a year showing houses. Or you can make millions a year if you have this concierge piece. So I love it. Think about this. So you have an office, you have the concierge, you have a real estate team. You could also help your clients invest in real estate, which Marissa, you're essentially doing.
We always encourage everybody Q3, Q4 Q4, Q1, so like end of the year through first of the year, call everybody, say like, hey, are you buying any investment properties? And that also helps stabilize business through the slow months, which I also don't subscribe to quote unquote slow months.
We're still waiting.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, when's the slow month?
I'm like, what? When is that?
Yeah.
It's honestly when agents slow down, it is slow.
Yeah, it is. I call it the great realtor hibernation between Halloween and the 15th of January.
It's honestly, they're done. Yeah, we'll wait till next year.
I mean, it's amazing though. I'm like, go ahead, go take a rest. We're just going to
keep it going, baby. Christmas houses is what we call them here.
Christmas houses.
You need a Christmas house. Christmas house. All right, ladies. Well, thank you. You both were awesome, Marissa and Alison. So much content. We could stay on for 5 more hours and dig deep into that. Take advantage of Marissa's coaching course. If you haven't gone out there yet already, marissaboyle.com, I believe. MARISSABOYLE.com. Put in the discount code Jeff if you want to get $100 off that course. You're both invited. I'd love to have you out to one of our investment or team building workshops. We'd love to have you speak at it if you do come out. Of course, that's free of charge to you because you were a podcast guest today. So any event you'd come to in the next 12 months. And then, of course, another invitation to all of our listeners. Come check out our team building workshop and or our investor workshop. Find out about all the upcoming dates on our website, eliterealestatesystems.com. Just click on events, and it's all an Eventbrite. All the details surrounding those events are in there. Would love to see you guys in Omaha, Nebraska. And we are a wrap. Thank you again for being on the show today.
Thank you, Jeff. We loved it.
All right.
Awesome.
See you soon.